All right. Welcome back to Unrestrained. And those that watched the previous podcast, episode 4, we're on episode 5 now. I wonder how many of you noticed I actually announced the wrong name. So comment if you noticed that I actually announced the wrong name. It's Unrestrained. And today we're definitely going to be unrestrained. We're going to talk about a few things. Get a little controversial, probably. A little conspiracy theorist. Some tinfoil hat type situations. So that's what's going to happen today. So yeah, we got Eli and Alfred back in the house.
Well, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? We back better than ever, and we're ready to get this rolling. You already know. How is everybody doing? Hopefully y'all had a blessed Resurrection Day, not Trans Day Visibility, but Resurrection Day. You want to know why? Because Resurrection Day means that Jesus Christ rose from the dead. And let me tell y'all something, for disrespecting my Jesus Christ, all those transgenders are still dead in their graves, but Jesus Christ still lives. So that being said, shout out to everybody. You already know, and let's get this podcast going. Go ahead, Alfred.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Well, we're right here, bro. Unrestrained, bro. Episode 5, bro. There's just so much to talk about, bro. How was you guys' week, bro? Did you guys have a good time with the fam bam?
It's good.
What did you guys do, huh?
Well, Saturday was a rainy day.
Of course.
So stayed in house here in California. We're getting a lot of rain. So yeah, I have a hard time staying in and doing nothing. I just feel very guilty. But my wife is a homebody, but I'm not. But I'm sure she enjoyed herself staying home. And Sunday went to church. Got my gym workout in, and hung out with the family. We made some gorditas.
Nice.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, now we were talking about, there's not a lot of places you can eat gorditas.
I remember that one AI announcement is Las Gorditas by Donald Trump. Remember?
Oh, yeah. I love the Mexican people, especially the big girls, Las Gorditas.
Gorditas.
Yeah, and if anybody that's watching this knows a good place to eat some good gorditas in LA or Orange County, put it in the comments. I'd like to know.
Gorditas, bro? I've never tried.
You don't know what gorditas are?
What is
Oh,
that?
man. It's like pupusas, but outside
Like
the meat,
pupusas?
Yeah.
You know what a pupusa
Oh, okay.
is?
Not sopes. It's not the same thing as sopes.
Similar, but sopes, it's
open.
It's open.
And then gorditas are closed.
It's stuffed.
Okay.
So it's closer to pupusas. Pupusas would be the closest thing. Although I like pupusas better.
Hey,
I
okay.
love them. I love pupusas.
Yeah.
Pupusas, man.
Yeah, guys. So welcome back. Please subscribe, share. Trying to make this thing grow. If you guys appreciate the content and find value in the things that we have to say, like always, we're just trying to bring things up. If you guys notice, we're kind of trying to figure this thing out still. We're kind of talking about some news, current events, that sort of thing, and then, hopefully wherever it goes, guys, wherever our conversation goes, we're kind of unscripted, although we do have a little bit of a plan nowadays. So let us know how that's working out. Yeah, man, let us know what you guys think, what kind of content, anything you guys want to throw our way, just put it in the comments, what you guys want to hear about, any suggestions you guys may have, what we can do better, what we're not doing very well. Yeah, just let us know, man.
Straightforward. We don't get offended.
Yeah, we don't get offended, but yeah, let's get right into it, Alfred.
Let's do it. Hey, so talking about stuff that's happening in the world, and you guys know that as Eli mentioned, we're celebrating, we're celebrating Easter, right? But for Christians, I mean, think about it. We're a population more than, a good 73% of the U.S. population is considered, or they know of a God, right? When we talk about a God, we talk about, hey, we know that there's a Jesus Christ, right? There's there's religion, there's a source, that there's a higher power, right? And so with that in mind, man, it just mind boggles me, or it just it always makes me question, like, certain things, are they intended? And I know the more we go into this podcast here, I'm starting to realize, man, that this stuff is actually stuff that has been popping up with this administration. I'm talking about this current administration, man. There's no reason why they shouldn't want to pin people, or, they've already doing it with race. So now they're doing it with, with religion. And, as you guys know, I think you guys saw the tweet, Saturday morning, right, comes up, and was it Sunday morning or Saturday evening? Yeah. We see a tweet right on Joe Biden's feed, right? And as a Catholic person, you know, somebody that goes to mass, right? His staffers or even that people that know him, he goes to mass. He understands, you know. He shoots out, you know, this text, and he says, you know, declaring the Transgender Day of Visibily, right? March 31st, the Transgender Day of Visibility. And you know what that caused, bro? That just caused an uproar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's well. Let's see what Cuomo had to say. We're gonna play this quick audio for you all. He was on the Patrick Bet-David show. We'll comment on it. You know, well, I have more to say about him, but interesting here. You know, he's supposedly, well, he is pretty liberal, but we'll hear what he has to say, and then we'll comment on it.
Here we go.
Before we started the show, we're dealing with a transmission issue. You asked like 11 questions. You have nothing to do with the transmission of this broadcast, but it's your company. This is the President of the United States. The idea that something like this is going to happen and it's okay that he was clueless is unacceptable. Even if this was done without him, which I doubt, okay? Vinny and I talk about this. I believe the president is plugged in. I talk to people around him. They say they interface with him all the time. They have no reason to lie to me. But even if you assume he didn't know, that's worse.
Yeah.
This was a big deal. It matters. And now he's in a hole about something that matters to Americans. And at some point, what is a leader? What is a leader? How many times are you going to give a guy who's supposed to be in control a pass because he's not into it, but then you don't want to make his competence an issue? This was an easy situation to rectify. It should have never happened this way. And all they did was hurt. They hurt the transgender community. They hurt the faith-based community, and they hurt impressions of his leadership.
Thank you. So,
yeah, so it's crazy, right? So, you know, Cuomo is not somebody that I care for very much. He's on the Patrick Bet-David show now, and honestly, my opinion on him is that he's trying to reinvent himself. I think he's
trying to get a comeback.
Yeah, I think he's gaslighting everyone. You know, he got tossed out of CNN. I think him and his brother are actually pretty scummy, dishonest, corrupt people. And I think that now that the tide is turning and conservatives are winning the narrative, I would say, I think we're making, or at least making headway in the let's say what would you call it?
I guess in the America
culture,
First
the
movement?
culture war.
Yeah.
The culture war. Yeah. So, you know, we're in a culture war, and I think that we're making a headway here. And I think he's seeing the tide is turning. The Democrats are very unpopular right now, even amongst their own base. And so my opinion is that I think Chris Cuomo is trying to reinvent himself. I think he's trying to gaslight people. I can't stand the guy. The guy never answers the question straight. This is probably the most specific I've heard him be in a long time. And, you know, this whole thing with his brother and him getting tossed out, I give him no kudos for him supposedly protecting his brother. His brother was a corrupt scumbag. If my brother was a corrupt scumbag, I would not protect him. I don't care if he is my brother. Wrong is wrong and right is right. That's just how it is. I'd love my brother. I don't have a brother. I have sisters, but fortunately I don't have scumbag sisters. But hey, when they're wrong, they're wrong. And if they're doing things that are not correct or not proper, I'm not going to back them up on it. I'm going to actually call them out on it.
Yeah, no, I think with that, right, the whole Chris Cuomo, I get the fact that he was, I guess, defending his brother, but I'm with you on that. I think if you do something wrong, it's not even necessarily people say, well, that's snitching. It's not snitching if you're telling on him, but if he got caught, I think you have to be the bigger brother and be like, hey, you know what, man, like, dude, why? What was the reason for you doing these things? But I think Chris Cuomo is just like, I think the guy is more, sadly, right, business-wise, he wants to make a comeback. His name and his brother's name got smeared on CNN and everywhere, that now it's like, well, I'm still trying to be in the game, or still trying to be like, my presence be known. So I mean, I really never liked the guy after in CNN, because he was just very, he had a double standard. Like, all he wanted to call out was Trump and call out everybody on the right or far right, and then he wouldn't question. And then when they'll ask him, well, what about Joe Biden or something like that, he'd be like, yeah, I know that. But that's different. It's not like, and it's like, dude, well, why are you quick to defend or I guess deflect back to the right when you just don't want to talk about the left a lot, the left at all? So that's the only thing I didn't like about the guy, is that I just feel that he's one of those that he'll do anything for the money. And I guessing now, hearing a little bit about it, it's kind of like, I don't know if to trust him when he talks about the left now, or is it just another thing that, I got to get paid? So that's just my opinion on Chris.
Yeah, he's just trying to reinvent himself. But, the point being here, what he's talking about, getting back to what we're, just wanted to throw that in there because I can't stand Cuomo. And, his brother could have been innocent. Doesn't matter. When I talk shady I'm just thinking back of, the whole COVID thing. Cuomo was, if we remember, right, he supposedly had COVID and supposedly he was isolating himself and he got caught jogging, right?
It's in his basement, right?
Yeah, he was supposed to be locked up in his basement. These are how liar and deceiving these guys are.
Yeah, scam artists.
They're scam artists. He's a total scam artist. And like I said, he's trying to reinvent himself. So I don't, it's great that, he's actually speaking some truth right now and calling out, but it's just, I don't trust the guy. But getting back to the Transgender Day of Visibility, like he was saying and correctly saying, is you either have it two ways, right? Either Joe Biden is not in charge, right, and doesn't even know what's going on, which I do believe so, because I don't really believe that he's running the government. People are making these decisions.
Yeah.
I really don't believe that Joe Biden decided that, hey, I'm going to go ahead and approve this this idea of let's start Transgender Day of Visibility. No, I think that's some leftist came up with it. He probably doesn't even know what happened. He might have just signed some document, doesn't even know what he's signing. One of many documents and things that he approves that he probably doesn't even read or know about or know what the heck's going on, right?
It's just like those old men. It's like, here, I brought you some orange juice. Oh, okay. Thank you. It's like he's not there, bro. Sadly, I think seeing this whole thing, it's like he's there for it to look like someone's there, but someone's behind.
Yeah, he's a puppet.
Yeah.
They just put a stack of paperwork on his desk. He's like, sign this. Okay.
Here. Here. He's like, okay.
And he just does. But again, what a slap in the face, guys. I would think that even if you're not somebody who's a believer, or even if you're an atheist, I would hope that you could actually respect the fact that it's totally disrespectful. Obviously, Resurrection Day or Easter Sunday is, much older. It's highly valued. It's probably the most important holiday or day of observance for the Christian community. It's down to the basis of Christianity, which is Jesus rising from the dead, right? And without him rising from the dead, Christianity is baseless, right? We stand on nothing. So, Christianity's whole, the base of Christianity relies totally on the death of Jesus, not only the death of Jesus, but more importantly, his resurrection, right? Which is what we profess and what we believe in. And for somebody to decide that, hey, we're going to, have this Transgender Day of visibility. What the heck does that even mean? Visibility? What are we talking about?
Well, I don't know. I think visibility is wrong to be used on trans, because those trans people can't see the visibility of what they are. They can't really see themselves as a man or a woman. They see themselves as something else. So I think it's just, I think, like you said, it's the biggest disrespect, and it had to be intentional. I think that's what they wanted, was to show like, yeah, we don't give a F about your day. Yeah. It's our day. Because it's one of those things that, but it's so funny, right? It's so funny is that these people on that side, right, they talk about that they're being persecuted and they're being disrespected and all that, but yet they keep disrespecting Christianity like that.
They persecute Christians, they disrespect Christians,
right?
And it's no different than those what were those nun gay transgender people, the whole Dodger Stadium deal. What were they called?
Sisters of Indulgence.
Yeah, Sisters of
Perpetual Indulgence, I think it's called, something like that. Yeah. I mean, it's no different, guys. It's the same thing. It's to mock, either, I'm not a Catholic, full disclosure, but again, it's mocking Catholicism. Right. It's disrespectful, I mean, frankly, it's transgenders just constantly disrespect women and mock women all day long, because most women don't act like transgenders do, right? Real women don't act as flamboyant and ridiculous as these transgenders do. That's not how women act. And to me, it's a mockery and disrespectful towards women. It just is.
Right.
You know,
it's just like that one issue with the the Coors Light, you know, I mean, the Bud Light, right? The Mulvaney, right? I mean, you get a guy that has, you know, I mean, as I was listening to another podcast here coming on my way over here, you know, the discussion was about that. Like, do these people actually know, these corporations actually know what their marketing department is doing? Or even that, you know, right now that you're questioning does Joe Biden know what, you know, what's going on in that tweet, the Twitter feed or whatever? I don't think he does.
Yeah.
I think, you know, honestly, I think he's just, like you mentioned, he's just bumbling and mumbling, right? I mean, he's just, hey, be careful, you know, something is coming, you know, people are upset, but, you know, ignore it and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, he just goes with it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel that he goes with it. I mean, if you listen closely if you follow the PBD podcast, I mean, there is a video where they're discussing, you know, they're asking him about this. Like, how do you feel that, you know, what you did, you know, it's kind of like you, and they're asking him, did you put that on your feed? He's like, I don't know about that. He's like, I don't know. He probably doesn't even know what.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on, man. For sure. And, you know, I was thinking about, you know, you were just talking about something. Coincidentally, today at work, I was filling, right before I came here, actually, I was filling out some paperwork for a bid that we're doing for a very large company. And it's paperwork we have to fill out before we even submit pricing, that sort of thing. And one of the questions that they've been asking, this is the second time I run across this. They used to call it, they used to ask, hey, are you a minority owned business? And now they're saying the question is diversity owned. And one of the things that on there was interesting because they listed out, like, they were spelling out kind of like how do they define it. And in order for you to be considered a minority owned business, which I believe there's something you have to actually get certified for, but it's like 25% of, you have to be 25% something else other than white.
God, gee, are you trying to tell me that as soon as they find out, and hear me out a little bit here.
Yeah.
Let me put my tinfoil hat on again, because, you know, when we put this tinfoil hat,
Gotta get
you
those
know,
tinfoil hats,
yeah,
man.
I got to get these hats, bro. I got to get them. And then, but do you really think that these people are scavenging or looking for outlets to promote their ESG score? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you guys know what that is, right?
Yes. Yeah. So what it is companies are being used to force other companies to comply with their ideology. So in this case, the fact that this isn't a document that we're submitting as a company to bid on business means that they're actually looking at this document and it's part of their decision making whether they will award us this business or not, right? So what I wanted to just to finish off what it says. So it tells you have to be 25% other than white, right? So that's Asian, you know, black, whatever, right? And it also lists, like, you check, okay, you know, how many LGBTQs, you know, do you have ABCs working for you, like percentage?
Oh, does that mean you're gonna have to implement the DEI program?
So what is it? So understand what this is. This is
microaggressions and
well, this is to incentivize companies to comply to this ideology, because we know that they're going to consider this in order for us to win the job. So it might not necessarily be that we're the best for the job. Maybe we have the best pricing.
So it sounds
the
like
best service. We're
right.
better qualified.
Right.
No, we might not get this business if we don't fit this narrative. Right?
Are you kidding me,
bro?
Yeah. I mean, why else is it on this document?
Bro, it sounds like they.
Why else is it there, right? Along with, hey, how much equipment do you have? Are you, you know, how do you operate 24/7? Right? Do you have all these other certifications? Like, hey, are you food grade, you know, graded to haul food, you know, things that actually matter.
Yeah.
So this is now added to that
scoreboard, right? I mean,
one of the reasons that's one thing they're looking at to make a decision, right? Is guess what I'm trying to say. But, you know, bringing it back to this, it's ridiculous, right? And you know, Cuomo did say something there that, you know, I agree with. Look, I'm not. People are free with what they're going to do, right? They can do whatever they want to do. I don't care. They want to wear dresses all day. That's their problem. They're going to have to answer to God for that. But at the same time, I'm not going to, you know, advocate for any kind of punishment for wearing a dress and thinking you're a girl, right?
But and it comes down to this, bro. I'm gonna say it because I'm gonna go on a tangent here. Listen. We said it here in this program all the time. I mean, this podcast, we saying, listen, you can be a zebra, you can be a donkey, whatever you want to be.
You could think you're a tree.
You can think you're a tree. You can think you're whatever. But as long as you don't bring that and you expect me.
Don't force the rest of us.
Exactly. Don't expect me
to call you a tree.
To call you a tree, to call you a zebra. I'm going to call you what you are. And I'm sorry. If I see an Adam apple, you're a man. And I'm sorry.
Right.
You know?
I think. Oh, go ahead, Alfred. Go ahead.
But I was going to tell you, but that becomes a problem. And see that right away, people are going to be like, oh, well, he's not helping in my mental state of mind because he doesn't agree. I can't lie.
Right.
And it comes down to that problem. Like, do you want to be a liar? I mean, anybody that's being put in a position where you need to lie to help someone, I'm sorry. That goes against my moral beliefs. If somebody tells me like, hey, I'm a zebra and, look at my, look
at my stripes and
look at my stripes
tail.
and look at my tail. I'm going to be like, bro, come on.
You don't got stripes. You don't got a tail.
Yeah, you.
Well, I mean, you might. You got, some people probably tattoo it on and run around thinking they're zebras. Right. But that's on them. Just don't force me to recognize you as one. I'm not. And what's the point of this, guys? It's when you think about how you're devaluing days of honor, even, right? You have days like MLK Day, right? You have days like President's Day, Veterans Days. These days are set apart for people to, because we hold these things in high regard, and we want to take a day to really recognize it, identify it, celebrate it, whatever. What's the point of LGBT Transgender Visibily Day? What's the purpose? Nobody cares. Like, they don't even care. The transgenders don't even care. I believe Como when he says, like, do we really believe that you have all these transgenders just banging at the door saying we need our own day?
I don't think they do.
You might have one or two.
Well, it's funny because it's already on the LGBTQ letters: lesbian, gays, trans. Now it's Trans Visibility Day, so it's like you got to stick with one. Either it's just crazy because now they're doing it for. I guarantee you, what's going to be next? Gay Day, Lesbian Day, trans already there.
They're going to follow the envelope.
So what's the point of the LGBTQ if all those letters are already there? It just doesn't make any sense. I think it's just, and then it's funny because then they say don't shove down your religion down my throat. But they're shoving everything down.
They're shoving their religion down our throat.
Right.
Their AB alphabet religion and their alternative genders and everything. They're shoving it down our throat. Right.
Right.
And not only that, and kids. I mean, come on. This is our kids. I mean, we tell kids, no, mija, you're a girl because you play with dolls. Mijo, you play with balls. Like, come on now. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you are.
Yeah. No more Easter baskets. No more Easter egg hunting. That's all done, guys. It's all now Transgender Visibility Day. So whatever I don't know what we're gonna do now for Transgender Visibility Day. I mean, what's it gonna evolve to, right? I mean, everybody wears a dress or something. I don't know. You're a guy. Everybody walks around with a dress for that day. I mean, what are we going to be doing?
Some people are going to try to get some high heels now.
It's ridiculous. I mean, don't be surprised. I mean, what's the point of all of this? This is all just an attack in our society, attack on our morals. It's attacking our traditions. They're taking down our statues, taking down, Confederate flags, which I have no problem with. I don't care.
Right. People don't know the history on the whole Confederate flag. It's pretty stupid when they say, oh, that's a racist flag. Well, there's two arguments. One is a rebel flag. The other one's a Confederate. And by the way, it's funny how people want to erase the history, but history needs to be there in order for us to remind us, hey, this was the bad side of history. Keep it because we need to be reminded that this should not rise.
Right.
And I don't know why people.
Yeah. And what's the problem, guys? I mean, the General Lee was awesome. The awesome car. I'm sure black folk like watching that show too. I watched it. I'm not white. I'm not a rebel, but I loved watching the General Lee growing up. And right, and it's kind of like it's like those people. Like you have this is how I look at it. Right, it's like the whole argument is like this. It's like, well, people need to know the evil history of the flag. Right. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. What's the problem, guys? If people think that don't know any better, that the General Lee is. Now when I say generally, I'm talking about the car for those that don't know what the heck I'm talking about. The Dukes of Hazzard with the with the Confederate flag all over it, right? Anybody watching that show didn't know any different. We just liked it. Nobody looked at that flag and was like, "Oh, that's a racist, that's a racist car. Oh, that hurts my feelings. It hurts my head. It's horrible." Nobody thought that. So what I wanted to get to is kind of like, you have those, I'm gonna get in trouble here, probably called sexist, but that's just the reality, right?
Yeah.
You got these couples that break up, right? And you have a marriage that fails, and then you got the, usually, generally speaking, you have the psycho, angry woman. Let's just say
let's keep it 100.
let's just say the guy cheated on her, right? The guy cheated on her, and now you got this angry woman, justifiably so. Yeah, she's justifiably so. She's upset, right? And they have kids,
Sure.
right? And so and where they cross the line, I would say, is where the father's still a good father, even though yes, he cheated on her, and she's angry. And to get back at him, she talks all this smack about the dad, right? And how bad and evil he is,
Right.
and all these bad things, And I say, what I'm getting with that is isn't it better for the kids just to think their dad is still a great dad?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be better?
That's true.
For the kids,
That's
for
true.
the relationship.
I think the way I see it too is that stuff that happens between the mom and dad, kids don't need to know that. If they ask, just be like, look, now when they're grown,
Let them think their dad's the
like,
best.
Yeah, just look.
Why burst that bubble?
Right.
What's the problem? If he's good to the kid and he's not harming them and he's loving to them,
Yeah.
why let him know how bad he is?
Right. Cheating has nothing to do with the kids. It was between you and me, basically.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is, it's I look at it the same way, right? Let us believe that the Confederate flag is not racist. Let us just like the General Lee. Let people just do what they're going to do, as long as they, they're not using it for bad intentions. What's the problem? Just let them be ignorant about it. Who cares?
That's true.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it's like all these people, when you ask them about the history of the Confederate flag and all that, it's like, oh, it was a racist flag. I'm like, okay, tell me about the war, the Battle of Gettysburg. Tell me what went down. And they never can answer it. They never could go into the details. They're just like, yeah, it's just racist. And then they go to some left-wing person, left-wing news media, and just listen to them. Yeah, it's just racist. You can't have that flag. It's like, okay.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see, because I have a friend of mine. His name is Marshall Goodman. He wants to come on here. We'll get him on here.
Shut up, Marshall.
What's up,
Marshall. He's been texting me, and we'll get him on here. I told him, just
Give me
share.
some seconds, bro.
You guys share. He's a black man. Okay, he's a black man, and he disagrees with everything I'm saying right now, I'm sure. But it'll be good to have him on here. It'll be a good time. We have good conversations. But I'm sure he would disagree with what I'm saying. But because these are the type of conversations I like to have. It's like, why do we keep people, making them think they're victims?
Well, see, but that's the thing, though. I mean, what I'm saying, I listen. We are not trying to deny that racism exists. We understand that. See, in one point or another, it happened to me back in the 90s, 80s. Come on now. So we can't deny that happened. But do we want to? The problem is when we continue to drill on it, when we continue to keep that mentality and that mindset, just continue. We carry it as a chain. You know what I mean? And it continues as a reminder. And see, people want to have that as a reminder all the time. And see, it stops you, it blocks you from moving forward and actually accomplishing what you need to accomplish, man. Some of the best people that are very well known to be accomplished are immigrants, people that made it, that made it happen. Come on. Do you guys remember Goya? The CEO, come on. Where did he came from? Nothing. He came out from nothing, right? And he's the Goya, the products, you guys know.
Oh, you're talking about the Goya, the beans.
The Goya, the beans, the products, and he's very, conservative, very, I'm talking about, he's very family. Now the word conservative triggers people. I'm talking about family oriented. You know what I mean?
Don't forget, it's called the MAGAs.
Yeah, they'll call you the MAGAs, the ultra MAGAs, whatever, man. You are a conservative. You're a family man, and I think that's one of the things that I understand. But then again, it goes into other people, other nationalities, and they want to keep it that way, and they want to think that way, and they want to continue to drag it on. It's been 20 years since that incident. You see what I mean? And it's just like, bro.
It's crazy though, because now it's gotten to the point where you can't even disagree, or like you have to have the same thinking as them. And it's pretty wild. That's not freedom at all. I believe you have the right to think what you want to think or say what you want to say, but you can't force someone to believe in your ideologies, period. You can't shove them down your throat. So
that's true.
Right.
That's true. Hey man, man. I mean, this is just think about it. We're barely in the first topic, bro.
That was good. I mean,
Hey, do you guys wanna talk a little bit about what's happening? Hey, listen, the reason why I've heard about Fredo, right? We heard about Chris Como. I think right now, what I'm liking it, bro, is that some people are getting red pill, right? Some people are understanding that, hey, the right is not bad. You know, like they're starting to see that the right actually, or even that, right, you know, right leaning people are actually allowing people to talk, you know what I mean, to have conversations. And I think overall I like this, you know. Now Chris Como is coming in here. You know, I agree with Isaac. You know, I really know where he's from. I understand, you know, he's, you know, who he is, but at least he's getting a platform where he's starting to see like, hey, it's, you know, these people are not the way that we picture it or the way we hammer them in the last 3 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you know, this is the thing, Alfred, though, is I don't believe that about him. See, again, I think everybody's redeemable and everybody can change their mind and change.
Well, look at what happened to Michael Rappaport. You know, he changed his mind. He says, hey, you know, this guy, you guys know, Michael Rappaport was the one who was calling, you know, Trump a pig and blah, blah, blah. And now he's going into all these, you know, all these outlets, right? Right.
Yeah, the comedian guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see,
I kind of agree with you on that too, and I'll let you go too, because it's the way I see it too. I think where you're going is he just doesn't look. He looks like he's doing it for the TV.
he's trying to reinvent himself.
Right.
He's trying to stay relevant,
I just see it that way
and
too.
his audience is smaller. And unlike David Rappaport, right? That's his name?
Michael
Rappaport. Yeah. Unlike him, he seems David Rappaport
Michael
Rappaport. Sorry, he was on the PBD show also. He's genuine though. See, he actually is. He's so much more sincere.
You can look at it. You can
tell, and not just that, but he actually will say words like "I was wrong." Yeah, I didn't understand then. You know, things like that.
He acknowledges.
He acknowledges it.
Right.
Cuomo does not. Cuomo's kind of pretending like he's always been this way, or he never deceived people. Like he's a centrist supposedly, which we'll get into that because I think that's a whole lot of nonsense. He's a centrist. He's just being an impartial journalist, but yet time and time again he was a partial journalist, like you were just calling out, right?
Yeah.
When it's something, you know, when you're talking bad about Trump, or, you know, let's go back to the COVID days.
He would be there.
Yeah, he was advocating for masks and
CNN.
vaccines and shutdowns and all that stuff. So if you're an impartial, you know, if you didn't wear a mask, he was criticizing people. If you
Didn't get vaccinated.
Yeah, if you didn't get vaccinated, he spoke against it. So how are you being impartial? He's full of crap. You know?
No. Well, I think I'm with you on that, because I do remember this guy would bring he would bring on like Rudy Giuliani. He brought on a bunch of other conservatives, and just to bash on them.
He didn't treat them the same.
Right, like just to make it seem like, oh, well, I told you this, so you have to agree with me. It's like, dude, no, they don't have to agree with you. I remember I think it was he brought on Kayleigh McEnany. I think that's her name. Where she was with Trump, and then he was just he was just attacking her like, well, do you not think that Trump this and that? He's like, well, dude, like she's telling you her answer, and you just want her to think what you want to think,
right?
And that's bad. It's like, so I'm with you on that. It's just he doesn't seem like that guy, Michael Rathenberger. That's how you say Burger.
Rappaport. Write his name down.
Yeah,
Burger. Rathenport. I feel that he just looks like you said. He's trying to play it in the screen, like but then eventually, if the left, I feel like if eventually he gets another shot at a left wing media, bro, he's gonna go and just say this like, Trump this, Trump conservatives and MAGA. So he's playing it.
Yeah,
cool.
David went in there and he actually said back then I was ranting, you know, I was getting crazy, and he's saying he was wrong. Like he's basically telling you he was wrong back then. He didn't see what he sees now. Cuomo has until I hear him clearly condemn the things he did before and show that he repents from it, if you will, and then I'll believe him, you know. But I don't see that now. I think the guy's just trying to reinvent himself.
No, he's a shameless. What do you call it? A shameless opportunist.
Yeah,
and that's what he said. He said it. He said it in here. He says, "Hey, I'm a shameless opportunist. If I ever get an opportunity to move on, I mean, I think like anybody, right? But see, that's one of the things. I agree, and I get it. You know, there's people out there that are two faces. But you know what? What I like now is that we're able to have these discussions. You know what I mean? He's able. I mean, you're having people that are left leaning, like what's his name? Bill Behar, Bill Behar, right? He's having these shows, and now he's talking and having these. He's making sense now. Like, hey guys, this is not right. This is not right from political parties to tackle on. And I think the more we have these discussions, I think we open up the possibilities and opportunities to have discussions. You know what I mean?
Were you talking about Bill Maher?
No. Well, I'm just saying, I'm talking about, I'm talking about Chris Cuomo coming in here.
Okay.
I mean, left-leaning, I'm saying like left-leaning people that think that way,
Mm-hmm.
now they're having these discussions. Well, before, nobody wanted to have discussions. It was just one narrative pushed through your throat, and that's it.
Yeah.
See what I mean? At least
Yeah.
now we're having discussions. This guy shows up in a with Pat Ben David, who he was considered, kind of neutral in a sense.
Well, he debated. Remember too on this show, he debated Candace Owens, and if you look at the debate,
Yep.
Candace Owens was trying to like get him, and that's where I kind of felt like
Yeah.
it wasn't convincing me that he
right.
believed in that stuff because Candace Owens was asking
She
him
kept
questions.
calling him out.
Yeah, and he was like, "Well, Candace, this. Well, it kind of like same thing he kind of was doing on CNN, trying to make it seem like no, you're wrong, and you gotta believe. Like it's like, bro, just be honest if you were wrong, And that's where it kind of like I told you, it didn't convince me fully that he was a little bit on board.
Yeah, he was giving
conservative.
non-answers the whole time, and she kept trying to pin him down to give a yes or no answer, and he would really take a position.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
that was,
hey, so what do we? Of course, man. Listen, we people here at the left and the right. I think for the most part, man, I'm thankful we're having these discussions. I think overall, this was a good opportunity for us to show that, hey, some people need to change. And look, Michael Rappaport actually, like he says, he's genuine. He's coming along. He says now voting for Trump is on the table, which is great. This is the people that would red pill, and these are the people that maybe with a possibility. With Chris Cuomo, maybe, right now he's hanging around people. He's listening to a completely different narrative. Hopefully that'll help him jump the boat, jump the boat, because we jump ship. Because I mean, we're seeing this happen a lot, and so why don't we have these discussions about NATO, bro? I was talking off before we started this conversation here, this podcast. I was talking to Isaac, and I said, Isaac, what do you think about this? So I show him a little conversation about NATO having to, NATO's trying to web in a team, right? A U.S. quote unquote team, operations team out in Ukraine, right? Under U.S. guys, under U.S. control, under NATO controlled, with U.S. funding and U.S. money. And the topic is interesting because they're trying to bypass or add extra funding even if Trump takes office. You know what I mean?
Yeah, can you put the article back up there?
Sure.
Alfred?
Yeah.
Because
the NATO one, right?
Yep, the NATO.
yeah, so what it is that what it looks like is going on is that NATO is referring to a group, right? And it's a group which the article doesn't really tell us. Excuse me. Doesn't really tell us what group exactly are they talking about. It's some sort of group. But what they're looking at is they're preparing for just in case Trump wins, and they want to make sure that even if Trump becomes president, he cannot stop funding to go to Ukraine.
That's crazy.
So there's a group that they're trying to put under NATO, right? Because it's called part of it. The NATO group is how it's identifying it, right, on the article.
Yes. Yeah.
And so they're talking about how they want to get this NATO group to be under NATO, so that it can continue to operate. Which is kind of weird. Like, what group are we talking about? But so that even if Trump comes a president, they can continue to bring arms to Ukraine to keep the war going, right? And so they're trying to strategize, come up with ideas. They're also trying to pass a bill. I think it also mentioned about passing a bill.
That's right.
That would actually require a vote from Congress in order for a president to cut funding to NATO, right? Which kind of I don't disagree with in a way, but I understand here it's not for good intentions. It's not for the right reasons. I mean,
It's not to help fight the war, basically.
Well, it's not to prevent presidents from just spending money, right?
Yeah.
Or to stop.
Or stop, I guess. I have to think about that one. But
what to add a little bit to that, man, everybody knows that anything that comes in from Lloyd Austin and General Mark Milley, who Mark Milley is now retired, right? But he left. He's now retired, right? The Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, is still there, right? But bro, I mean, the debacle with the Afghan withdrawal, man, it's just still hurting my, it's hurting right there underneath my sides, bro.
Getting under your skin.
Yeah, it's under my skin because I know that the way it was handled, and these people had an opportunity to do it well, was all laid out, right, as Trump mentioned. But these people just scoot the pooch, and I'm sorry, 13 people died. You know what I mean, on the whole thing, and now, now we're starting to see that these people are orchestrating, right?
Yeah,
basically preparing for another bad pullout. In other words.
Yeah. So the article, now you have says that a second U.S. official said that another proposal would give NATO a more formalized seat at the table within the Ukraine group. Right, it's referring to this Ukraine group, as opposed to moving it under NATO control. The idea from the U.S. side would be to strengthen the ties between NATO and Ukraine for long-term support, the official said. And it says the Ukraine group was launched in the early weeks of the war by the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, then Joint Chief of Staff,
General Mark Milley.
Joint Chiefs Chair General Mark
Joint
Milley.
Chiefs of Chair General Mark.
Yeah, I'm reading this from like 20 yards out, guys, and I'm 46 years old, which is pretty impressive.
I got you.
That's pretty
To
impressive,
coordinate
bro.
Western support of Kyiv's defenses, it's credited with speeding tens of billions of
It's
dollars
credited with
in
speeding
equipment.
tens of billions of dollars in equipment, weapons, and others aid to the Ukraine that have been critical in staving off Russian forces. So sorry about that. We fumbled it, but it's kind of far away. We're gonna have to get screens to screen, but
Yeah.
But guys, think about this. So this is what's so crazy about this whole deal is that there's this group that was formed, right? And now they want to solidify this group. They want to make it very difficult for you to. They want to give this group more authority and power, and not really sure what the details are on that. But understand that NATO is not a United States branch of government, right? It's a world government.
That's true.
And the article then goes on to say that they have other ideas because they also wanted, like I mentioned before, passing a bill so that Trump can't cut Trump. They're secretly a president, but they're talking about Trump cutting any funding for the war. So understand that we as the people, we elect our representatives, right? And so Trump is running around the country and he's making it known, hey guys, if you elect me, I will cut funding. I will get rid of NATO, right?
All right.
And so if you agree with that, you will vote for him, right? So that is, if he were to win the vote, that means that people agreed with him. Therefore, that is what we elect him. That's one of other reasons we're electing him as American citizens. That's what we wanted him to carry out. We want him to, that would be the mandate we're giving him, right?
Yeah.
But NATO, they don't like that. Right? Forget about Trump. That means any president. They don't like that.
They don't want the checks or the money to stop coming in.
They don't want the steps to start coming in.
Because that's what
Our
Trump,
checks, our money coming
right,
in.
our taxpayers, and that's what Trump got into it with them at the meeting because he was telling them like, we're the ones that are contributing the most money into NATO, and you guys are not paying your fair share. On my opinion on NATO, I think we should have been leaving. When you start seeing that these nations are just taking advantage of our country and telling us, hey, you got to pay more for this certain type of group and all of this stuff, it just doesn't make any sense. Why do we have to pay more? Why do they don't pay more? And it's funny because I've said it already that America has to stop being the world's police, bro. We have to stop. Like, we have to stop getting involved into other countries' business. Yes, is there some countries that it sucks and all that? Yes, but sometimes we have to say no. Because sadly, then eventually, knowing how the liberals and the left people are, they always make it seem that the U.S. was bad for helping other countries. And I'm sick and tired of our country always looking like the bad person for helping out. And that's why I would agree that if Trump pulls out of NATO, I'd be like, yeah. And you will see, bro, I promise you, if he does that, you'll see how all these NATO countries are going to turn their back on America and say, look, they don't want to help out. They don't care about you. They hate you. And America's this, America's that. But why? They're not doing it because they're trying to make America seem bad. They're doing it is because they want that money that America keeps giving them and more of that money.
Right.
100%.
So Alfred's going to play this clip. This is why this is happening, guys. Yeah. Listen to this.
Listen.
If we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay.
Ooh, okay.
There you have the former president of the United States saying he would encourage Russia to do whatever the hell they want.
I don't like this guy neither.
Okay, so
hold on.
So listen to this, okay? So
That's
this
another
is
guy.
You're gonna have to play one more time, Alfred, because it didn't play the beginning. The beginning is key, right?
Yep.
So keep in mind, we're gonna play this again, and as soon as it's over, the next thing you hear is what's his name from CNN?
Jim Acosta.
Jim Acosta.
Jim Acosta, right?
I don't
Remember,
like that guy,
keep
bro.
this in mind. He just said that Donald Trump. What was he saying? That
Donald Trump encourages Russia
to do whatever he wants.
Right.
Right. He said Russia. Now,
But he lists the reason why he encouraged
well,
Russia.
let's listen to what Trump actually said, though.
Here we go.
Put
Check
it loud.
out.
Put it loud too.
I'm gonna
Alfred.
put it loud. I'm putting it loud. Let me go ahead and get that loudness. And
So people can hear too, and not
go.
CNN.
One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay.
Actually, I was wrong. I had to listen to it again. He did say Russia.
He did. Well, look at what he said. So you guys all agree that the problem is this, okay? So here, and this is right. This is why Jim Acosta had to jump real quick and try to change your narrative, right? Your mind, the way of thinking, right away into like,
he supports Russia. Oh,
he
my
supports
goodness.
Russia. He's gonna let Russia attack you. Initially, what he said is, look, did you pay? And even said in the beginning, he said, a big country comes to me and tells me, hey, Donald Trump, I didn't pay, right?
But I need your
Yeah,
help.
what happens if I don't pay?
Well, what would happen if I don't pay my house?
Right.
The bank will remove it, right? They're
Right.
not going to cover. They're going to come for it right away. That's what they want, right?
And then you're gonna go get mad at the bank. Oh, how dare you take away my house?
Yeah, exactly. But look at their mindset. Look at the way they're thinking. Look at the way they're saying things. Look at the way they're grabbing things out of context. I mean, yes, the reason why Trump said that is because you got to pay. You
Right.
got to pay your equal share. The U.S. is paying a large amount of money, right?
Nothing is free in this world, guys. Remember that, right?
Nothing is free, right? Everything's free. Right now,
Well, look at what the. Go ahead and play now, and I'll mention this.
Hear
We're play-
him what he says.
Encourage Russia to do whatever the hell they want. I mean, who knows whether or not that scenario he laid out at the rally even happened or is true. But Gary, what do you think of Trump openly saying that Russia can go ahead and invade NATO
If you don't
allies,
pay.
NATO countries?
Right.
I think we should believe him. I've been
So here we go. I don't even want to get into
You
this
see,
guy because
this is, bro. I have to say, you see what the left does, and people, I don't know why they don't see it. You didn't give the reason why he said this. You just said he encouraged that Russia should invade,
moving.
but give the reason why he said that, because NATO doesn't want to pay money. They want you, people on the screen watching, to pay for their wars, to pay for all their things. But you people that stand with this are like, yeah, we'll pay NATO here, keep fighting, and we'll go broke, and you're getting rich by our money. That's the reason why he's saying, either you stand up to the bully or you pay me to help you stand up to the bully. Plain and simple.
Yeah, so I'll retract what
Sorry,
I was
guys.
gonna say. I was actually wrong. So I was wrong. I was gonna say he didn't say Russia, but he did. I didn't hear it the first time we listened to it. But yeah,
he said.
But regardless, the point being, like you said, Eli, correctly, is he's talking in a scenario where people are paying into a system in order to get protection, right? So that's what NATO is. It's like, hey, we're gonna be part of NATO. Everybody pays into this, right?
All of us.
Yeah, we all pay into it, and you know, when something pops off, we have each other's back.
Right.
Right. But if you're not paying, why should I have your back? You're, like you said, you're delinquent. Right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Why, bro? It's like and I'll pay it in the simple way.
Think of it as insurance.
Right, exactly. Bro. Right.
You know, if you don't pay your insurance and you crash your car, let's say it's car insurance, you go to the insurance company. What are they going to tell you? You're delinquent. Go kick rocks.
Yeah,
You
like,
know what I mean?
please, can you pay? Can you help my truck? Not only that, but the best example, right? They want to make Russia seem like it's the bigger bad evil. Let's just say, right? You're paying a guy to protect you against a bully. And then you haven't paid the protector that protects you against the bully.
Yeah, you haven't paid.
Right. He's not gonna protect you. Be like, bro, where's my payment?
So why
so I
should
can
these
protect you?"
companies why would they pay, guys? Why would they pay into NATO when for years and years other presidents don't call them out on it and Trump's the only one doing it?
Look,
They're mad about that. This is, and it's funny because you know what they are? They're mad about it. I call them the squatter countries. They are mad that they weren't allowed to be squatters in that program when Trump was telling them, "Hey, bro, you're not paying your fair share for us to be protecting you. Why do we have to pay them more?" So they're the squatters.
Yeah, how about we
of
stop
the
paying?
nations.
Why
Right.
can't we stop paying? Why can't the U.S. stop paying and
Right.
expect the same? Right? Why can't we stop paying? And if something pops off, then all you NATO countries help us then.
Do your own thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're like, you
How-
protect yourself.
Yeah, how about you guys help us? You know, how about you guys pay that money? I mean, we got to get equipment, right? We're throwing all this $90 billion in equipment and all this stuff that we're seeing right here. NATO that wants unconditional funding, even if Trump comes in office, right? And then NATO doesn't want to pay their own share, right? Their own thing. You know,
Well, these countries don't want to pay. Yes. So the countries that are supposed to be a part of NATO don't want to pay, and they're not paying. Trump's calling them out, right? In the scenario he's giving them, hey, what happens if we don't pay? Well, then you're on your own. That's all. That's really all he's saying. And now going back to the article we were talking about NATO, now they're trying to find a way of making sure. In this case, we're talking about Ukraine, who is not even part of NATO, right? Which I guess doesn't
Facts.
matter because even if you're a part of it, if you don't pay. Does it really matter? I
Right,
guess
right, yeah.
you know.
No.
What does it even matter now, right? You're not even required to pay. So, getting back to the point here is that now you have NATO trying to figure out how to
Strong arm.
Yeah, how to get around the will of the people. Because if Trump gets elected,
He's pulling out. I hope he does. I believe he is.
well, I mean, I think he will this time around. But again, they're already working towards making it very difficult, if not impossible, for him to do so.
You know what's creepy too, by the way, the way you said it, is that NATO, think about it, rather than NATO saying, you know what, America has enough problems, nah, we're going to make sure we milk you even though you want to get out.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
Like-
We're our own country, man.
Right,
we run our
right.
own show. And
Who's NATO? Like, what?
Right.
You guys
They
tell
are,
us, you know?
again, they are not a branch of government. They're not a branch of the U.S. government.
They're
They're a global group of people that rely on our money and is trying to make decisions for us.
That's
Sounds
scary,
like it
man.
sounds
That
like
needs
a
to
world,
stop.
Hey, doesn't it sound creepy? It sounds like a world order type of thing. Bro.
World War
Yeah,
Order,
it sounds
that's what
like
it
a
is.
world government.
One world government. Like,
Yeah.
nah, you're gonna do what we say, you know. But hey, it's just man.
The
like I said,
tentacles of evil, bro. The tentacles of evil.
I'm with you though. We gotta pull out of NATO.
Yep, we have to. It's a must. Hey, listen, man. Let's jump into the next topic, bro, because we're already in an hour, bro. We
All right,
still
let's
got
go,
two
let's go.
things, bro.
We're doing
Hey,
pretty good, actually.
We're doing pretty good, pretty solid, man. Pretty good because we're going back to back. Guys, what is going on with this Puff Daddy and JayZ stuff, bro? It is off the charts. I'm hearing it here and there. You know, I listened to a couple of people on the podcast, a couple of people out in, you know, people that are podcasting, and, you know, some of them are for this, some of them are against this. They say if they can do this to Puff, you know, to Puff Daddy. And again, some of us, I mean, let me put my tinfoil hat back on, bro, because, you know, again, when we talk about tinfoil, you know, there's a lot of conversations. We said it last week. We talked about certain things that were happening with Puff Daddy. You know, he was in some sort of record company, and, you know, 6 people out of that record company are dead now, and nobody can account, right? Constant molestations, efforts. Nobody wants to come forward, right? Because he has money. And now we're hearing that the FBI does a full raid on both his houses in LA and Miami. And now, you know, we're jumping into JayZ, bro.
Yeah, so we talked about this on our last podcast. We kind of touched on it, but the story just doesn't go away because it's not going to go away, it seems. But yeah, I had actually alluded to this a little bit last time, was the interesting thing is now how if you're starting to hear JayZ and Beyonce being thrown around, and I think 50 Cent's come out and I think he put out some sort of tweet. I think he's alluding to supposedly P. Diddy has evidence of a potential, like unaliving. I think that's what you got to say, because I don't know if
on Spotify do they cancel for saying?
I don't know, but unaliving his former mistress who was pregnant, right? I think this was 2010 or something.
crazy.
Was that what it was?
Yep, 2010. His publicist again. Her name is Catherine Korean White.
Yeah, Corina. With the K.
Koreana.
Yeah, Kathy Coriana
Age
White,
28.
I guess. She was a former publisher. She was 20 years old. Apparently, she was pregnant, right? Yeah. And 48 hours after Beyonce announced that she was pregnant, I guess they were both pregnant at the same time, it seems.
Interesting.
She disappeared, and I think the formal cause of death was a brain aneurysm, right?
Yeah.
And the rumors are, this is all allegedly. Allegedly, P. Diddy has some sort of evidence that links, I don't know if it's JayZ and Beyonce, one of them, to the death of this woman who I guess this article we were reading talks about how she was thinking about coming out and making this relationship public, but then after meeting with JayZ and P. Diddy, I believe, right, in Las Vegas,
that's right,
she changed her mind. Interesting. P. Diddy comes into the picture, right? And then all of a sudden now she decides that she's not going to go public, and then she ends up dead. I don't know how long after that, but apparently it was 48 hours after Beyonce announced that she was pregnant. So, yeah, we'll see.
I mean, this is an interesting story, man, because again, the more you scratch the surface, it's kind of like somebody mentioned, man, this is layers after layers and layers after layers, and it's hard to get to the truth, get to the bottom of it. People dying and swimming, in homes and swimming home, and I mean,
but how do what's pretty creepy? I keep saying it, bro. Is that how do people all of a sudden, when they have something to do with these, I guess you could say, rich elite type of people,
right,
they always end up dying mysteriously. Have you guys ever noticed that? That it's kind of creepy in a way?
But it's just on the left. It's just people on the left.
Right.
It's like they eat each other. It's funny. It's like, I mean, think about it. A lot of this stuff is happening more in the left. Come on, I don't hear no
conservative right wing.
Yeah, I don't hear no
Trump that's probably has been
I don't hear Ben Shapiro going after Candace and now she's dead. I don't hear that.
Yeah, like you never hear someone, and there is some controversy, right? Sure. That there's people involved in doing that stuff, but you never hear them turn out to be mysteriously dead.
Yeah, there's a lot more evidence and reason that people have to be skeptical of these people. Because what I wanted to kind of link this to now is, and I did briefly on the last podcast.
Let's get into it,
and we'll see. But who's really good friends with JayZ, Beyonce, and P. Diddy? Remember, these three have something in common. They actually supported for the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, and his wife. Mm-hmm. Okay, strong supporters. Go back and listen to videos. Obama loved Beyonce and JayZ. I believe you look this up. I believe I remember soon after Obama left the White House, and he bought a house in Martha's Vineyard, right? I believe he had a party there, and JayZ and Beyonce were there. A lot of very famous Hollywood types, and all of these people, including Oprah. There's all of this talk about child molestation, sex trafficking, them being involved. Oprah's name's been out there with that school that she had. I think it was in Kenya.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
They got shut down, and supposedly, allegedly, they believe that was really some sort of child trafficking type situation. Who knows? We don't be surprised if we find out, because a lot of the stuff with P. Diddy was just rumors too, right?
Right.
A lot of this JayZ stuff and Beyonce was just kind of rumors and conspiracy theories, but more and more these things are becoming more and more believable. And when you start looking at who these people were hanging out with, that we know now with Jeffrey Epstein, which JayZ did hang out with Jeffrey Epstein. I think he's on the flight log supposedly, right? Mm-hmm. And who was the other guy from Hollywood? The not Jeffrey Epstein, but the other guy that got taken down that was that started the whole Me Too thing.
Who was it? Was it a Podesta?
No. He was like a producer, I believe, or some sort that would have women come over.
Weinstein or Weiner? What was it?
Is it Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah,
yeah. It is Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, Harvey Weinstein.
Yes.
Look it up so we can make sure, because then we're gonna get called out on it. But yeah, I believe it's Harvey Weinstein. And if I'm gonna just,
well, I don't know. It says a woman here, but
yes, Harvey Weinstein. That's correct. Yeah. So Harvey Weinstein. All these people are from the same boat. They're all in the same social clubs, all at the same parties.
Click Harvey Weinstein. How does he look like?
Yeah, he's that dude right there. Yeah, Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the guy that the whole Me Too movement started with these guys. So we know about these things. These are no longer things that anybody's questioning, or it's no longer conspiracy theories. P. Diddy's leaving the conspiracy realm now and heading into it looks like it's true, you know? Now you have the whole JayZ thing going. All of these people funded not just Obama, many Democrats campaigns. Mm-hmm. They campaigned for them. They hosted parties for them. They socialized with them. But it's crazy that they never get linked with them, right? If anybody that says, you know, if there's some sort of KKK guy or a racist guy that actually voted for Trump, never hung out with them, never socialized with Trump, but you know, he just voted for Trump, or maybe, or all of a sudden now Trump's also a racist, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, they were going for a while, I think. Now that you bring it up, the claim that who was it, that someone from the KKK supported Trump, and then they were like, well, how come he supports him? And it's like, bro, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, the guy might just want low taxes. You know, like the guy might want regular, you know, less regulations.
KKK members still want to live and survive, bro, even though you hate them. But
right, yeah, maybe the guy has a business and wants a president that's going to make it easier for his business, right? But he just happens to be racist. It's probably because he's racist, obviously, right? Yeah, like, maybe the guy wanted to pull out of the war in Iraq at the time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he agreed with all his other policies, had nothing to do with racism, but you know. We have to go there.
They're always going to link somehow, both of them.
Correct. To the race. Right. Exactly. But, you know, where we want to go with this now, right, is we go back to this interview with Tucker Carlson and this guy named Larry Sinclair, right? So you know, I'm putting the case out here, guys. Mm-hmm. I'm painting a picture, right?
A picture.
P. Diddy, you know, homosexuality claims, you know, blackmailing people. Now you got the whole JayZ thing. JayZ was married to a 15-year-old, I believe, when he was 18 or 19, something like that, which kind of crazy. I mean, at 18, I'd have to go back. You know, I don't think I could have been with the 15-year-old at 18. That's kind of weird, but not too crazy. But now in hindsight, we're looking like, man, okay, you know, where the tendency's there. But let's play this video, because now this is this guy, Larry Sinclair, and you could look up this interview with Tucker Carlson, right? And this is what he's claiming happened. Listen to this.
That's introduced to me as Barack Obama. I had given Barack $250 to pay for coke. I start putting a line on a CD tray to snort, and next thing I know, he's got a little pipe and he's smoking. So I just started rubbing my hand along his thigh to see where it was going, and it went the direction I had intended it to go.
Even though you had sex with him twice, you did cocaine with him, watched him smoke crack twice, you had no idea who he was.
I had no idea who he was.
Let me just ask the obvious question: what was Obama like on crack? Is it your sense that that's who Obama is, just transactional, or that he's bisexual, or like what is this?
It definitely wasn't Barack's first time, and I would almost be willing to bet you it wasn't his last.
Yep. Wow. Wasn't his first time, and probably wasn't his last.
And now I know why this guy probably funded the LGBTQ more than the countries that help veterans.
Well, who started the whole, you know, this whole bathroom situation?
Him?
Mm-hmm.
Obama.
Yep.
So, you know, guys, is it unreasonable to think that potentially a lot of these rumors about Obama being gay, now you have this guy, Larry Sinclair. This was back when Obama was in Chicago, is when this took place. This was before he was president. I think he might have been. I don't know what year it was. He might have been a senator at the time. Don't know, or could have been before. It doesn't really matter. The point being here is this guy. If you listen to the full interview, it's a wild story. Okay, it's a wild night and a wild story. And you heard him talk about he doesn't say here, but they end up having sex according to this guy.
Well,
okay,
and it wasn't just once; it was twice. So I mean, this is something that was common. I'm just thinking, and it's in his own words. He says, "I don't think that was his first time." I mean,
doesn't think it was his first time, and it probably wasn't his last.
That's right.
Yeah, so look it up, Larry Sinclair, connecting the dots here, guys. It's kind of weird. These people all hang out. They all advocate for each other. They all support each other. But why is it unreasonable to consider that maybe Obama is gay? They're all kind of hanging out. I don't know. I wonder to you guys. I guess I've never been in a situation where. I don't know. Have you guys been in a situation where you associated with people, a group of people, and it turns out that I don't know, they're wild, man. They're like, I don't know, sex traffickers or something, or I could understand maybe there were undercover drug addicts and you didn't know about it. Have you had anything like that?
I had my friend. I won't say his name, but I didn't think he was on drugs, and eventually he was on drugs, and sadly he passed away from overdose. That was that, but something like this, bro, where you're like, okay, so this guy was gay. Like, no, I have not seen some of that. I think it's more like I've seen more like if a guy has cheated on, like, or heard, right, if a guy cheated on his wife or something in the straight way, but to be gay like that, I don't know, it's pretty uncommon in the community.
I just think because these guys all hung out and partied together. We know that Obama hosted them at his house, right? JayZ was partying with those guys. Even LeBron James was. We'll see what happens with LeBron James, because LeBron James was even partying. Was that clip where he's like, there is no party like a P. Diddy party? I guess there's a clip going out like that. That's pretty freaking wild, right? And if stuff comes out on LeBron, another Democrat supporter, leftist, right?
Yeah. Disgrace. The worst Laker ever. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah, for sure. No doubt about it.
Kobe's better. But like, it's just, bro, like, this is what I'm telling you guys. It's like, how is it that these people have so much money, so much influence, and I just don't understand, bro. Like, I'm not trying to say it's a good thing either, but why is it always weirdo things, bro? Why is it always like
the wildest stuff
or pedophile things? It's like, why not? Okay, I get if you're like a guy that's always having sex with women. Now, I don't encourage it, but that's the lifestyle. It comes with money, right? But why does it have to take to an extreme when either it's pedophilia or like some gay stuff or not? I'm like, bro, you have all this money, you see all these beautiful women.
Yeah, I think you hit levels where enough is never enough. I think. I can't relate because I'm obviously not a pedophile. Just so we're clear here, right?
No, and that's what I'm saying. None of us are, but it's like,
I just try to think it through, and I figure, okay, there must be the best I can relate is this. Like, we all kind of, maybe, I don't know, let's just say a car that you really liked and you always wanted to get, and then you get that car, right? You're like, oh man, I got this car, it's sweet. And then 6 months later, that car is like whatever, because then there's a better car out there, right?
Oh, I gotta get that one.
Right, or whatever.
Adrenaline, bro.
So I don't know. Is it like that? Maybe for them, because you take guys like P. Diddy, where maybe it started off with hey, he's rich, he makes it, right? He finally makes it. Maybe he wasn't gay at the time. Maybe he wasn't. And now he's like partying and he's hooking up with the hottest women you can find all the time. After a while, you're just kind of like, that's kind of old. Kind of you need to level up, I guess. So is leveling up like, I don't know, like starting to hook up with dudes? I don't know how that's leveling up, but in their mind it must be. And then from there, that doesn't become right. You're not getting into wilder things. You just got to get wilder and wilder to where now you're like sleeping with kids too. I don't know, man.
This is
demonic, bro.
It is.
Demonic. It's like, dude, what the, like? That's what I'm saying, bro. It always just. I cannot understand that, bro. It's like I always say, like, bro, you have all this money, you can have all the women, I guess, in gorgeous women and all that, but you turn to either men or kids. Like,
I guess that's what I guess. Just some people can't handle it. But you know, the thing that I was asking you earlier, like if you had something you can relate. But you know, I could understand people like just drugs, right? I mean, drugs is bad, but it's not that wild really when you think about it, right?
all my family members are straight.
But can you imagine if you had friends that you went to their house, you went to their parties at their house?
Yeah, sure.
How realistic is it that they turned out to be sex trafficker, wild crazies like this?
I'm
like
gone, bro.
Like I don't know. Is it possible that you didn't know? Because I want to know when these guys start coming out, you know, like JayZ and LeBron, and they start saying, well, yeah, you know, I was at their house, but I never saw anything like that.
Nah,
I didn't see anything crazy. I just went over there. We had some cake. We had dinner. His kids were there. His mom was there. I never in my wildest dreams or saw any trace that he was, you know.
I would never, you know, something like that. Like, I would never. And if I did, you know, I would have just stand back and been like, oh, you know, well, we can't judge or that's none of our business. But like you're saying, it's just like you're telling me you've never seen this stuff. Like if he gets caught, right? What are you going to say, bro? Are you telling me you never once thought that's suspicious? Wait, why is there a bunch of kids going in that room?
Well, yeah, like, what's the odds
like
that they went that LeBron, for example, let's just take LeBron, right? All the parties he went to at P. Diddy's house were pretty wholesome and nothing to trip out about.
Right.
You know? Well, I mean, what's the odds that and then now he's coming out, there's no party like a P. Diddy party. What's he talking about then?
Well,
what kind of party are we talking about, LeBron? I want to know. Like how wild is this? Is it, you know, because if it's just a normal party, like, you know, he went over, they had some cake and dinner, some music, you know, some dancing, you know, some drinks, you know, a cigar, and they called it a night. Yeah,
rich
a normal party. I mean, why would you be coming out talking about there is no party like a P. Diddy party? Or, you know, that's, now that we know what happens in P. Diddy parties,
now,
like,
bro,
what are we talking about, LeBron? Like, and who's going to ask him that? I want, who's going to ask him that?
If I seen him on the street in LA, I'll ask him, be like, hey, bro.
Because you know very well, if he was a conservative Trump supporter, there would be microphones in his face every second a reporter had wanting to know, what did you mean by there is no, no party like a P. Diddy party.
Not only that, was Trump there? Trump was there.
Yeah, right.
To be there.
Was he there?
You saw him. You know you saw him. Like,
right. How many children did you see Trump with? You know, at this party you guys were at.
Trump. I just said I like Trump.
Bro, it reminds me of that one. Remember, you know, a couple of many moons ago, right? A couple moons ago, we heard about this. You know, this log that was going to be released, right? Mm. And everybody was just in their mind was if Trump's was on that log.
Yeah, if his name's on the flight log.
If his name was on the flight logs, right? Because supposedly he knew, right, Epstein, right, and have pictures of him, right? I mean, and he says it clearly. He's like, bro, back in the 80s, you know, I knew of him. I mean, you got Epstein right there coming in, and you see all these documentaries, right? You've seen this on this multiple documentaries where, you know, back in the 80s, and the way Epstein made connections was being in parties, being around people, you know, having conversations with people and doing this and doing that. Where did it flip? When he saw money, when he saw greed, right? When you see money, you see greed, your mind gets twisted, right? And so, you know, the picture, yeah, he said, hey, I was there, but I moved away from it. I didn't think anything of it and moved around. I mean, come on, you got a multi-million-dollar person thinking, oh, well, there's a picture here with you and Epstein, and you know, and look, we've seen pictures with Epstein and Bill Clinton, and nobody's saying anything.
Yeah, yeah. So
at that time, nobody knew neither, right? It barely came out about the whole Epstein thing, or people at that time they were.
No, well, yeah, Epstein was actually taken to court. I don't know if it was 80s or 90s, but he had gone to court already for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think he was put on. I'll have to look this up. I think he was he put on parole or something?
House arrest.
I'll look at.
Yeah, he didn't go to jail. Basically, the guy pretty much got away.
He just paid everybody.
Yeah, so it was already going. Yeah, it was already kind of going around back in those times.
Really, and he still showed up to a party like that.
So yeah,
I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is this. But bro, what is shocking to me is that the silence. You know, the silence of everybody. Right. This guy has so many. You know, he's got so many people, right, that know of him, right? 2022, June 2022 was eventually
no. See, arrested. 1990. Images of Epstein arrested in the 90s. So he was arrested in the 90s.
Yep, in 1990s.
Yeah, the 90. Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm not even gonna ask because then we're gonna too much time. But I'll ask next time. I was gonna say, who is this guy other than just supposedly being Jeffrey Epstein? Like, was he someone famous or what?
Well, there's a lot of theories, right? There's a lot of there's a lot of tinfoil hats out there, and they're saying that supposedly he was involved with the Mossad or whatever, the Israeli Secret Service, but nobody knows, bro.
Yeah, nobody really knows what this guy was. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter now at this point. I mean, the guys are dead, and
By suicide, okay?
we're really not
He hanged
going to
himself,
never
right?
know.
Hey, by suicide, right?
Yeah,
By suicide.
Yep.
He hanged himself, huh?
Yep.
Right.
But I mean, to all this, man, the reason why it's good to bring these conversations, bro, is because you don't see this. I mean, I don't see this in national news where you have, people that support for somebody, people that lives a second life, right? And again, I mean, I hope. I mean, let's hope, right? We're just hoping for the system, right? That he gets a trial, he goes into there, and of course, you got money. I mean.
Yeah, so it says right there. It says Epstein agreed to. He had pled guilty in Florida for two prostitution charges. So he ended only serving 18 months in prison. Wow. So yeah, that's he did go to prison, and he took a lesser charge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's what happened back, and it was in Florida.
I was back in Florida. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever touched down on this island? Just a question before we're about to finish.
I mean, there's a lot of people that have taken them. Now the building's painted white, I think, and now the building's gone, I think now.
Oh, the island, yeah, people have gone there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is it? That's kind of creepy.
Yep.
I seen a YouTube video where somebody ran in there and they had some of the patrols going after them in little golf carts and
look how right there the left wing media plays that. It says people who are connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Look who they have there.
Yeah, they have Donald Trump just because he went to Mar-a-Lago one time and Trump kicked him out.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That was the connection. Trump met him, right?
You're out.
And had heard that he was some shiesty guy. I think he hit on, or was he? I think he was hitting on Melania or something. There was something that happened there where Trump kind of knew he was not a good dude and he kicked him out.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's his connection.
That's the only way I kicked him out.
I mean, and he says it. I mean, he said it a couple times. He said, I met him. It didn't feel right. And, I moved away from the whole thing. I mean, it wasn't my thing, a cup of tea, right? As they say, right? But for some people, I guess that was a cup of tea even to wear blue dresses.
Yep.
I mean, right. Just saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyhow, man. Hey, man. Man, we went over, but hey,
Did we go over really?
No. We're good. We're in good times. Okay. No, we're good times, man. Hey, so we're having we're seeing two sides here, right? We're able to see the right and the left, but I'm telling you, things are not going well for that side of the.
Well, what I wanted to bring up, did we cover the topics that we had?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so I'll move on to this. I told these guys if we have time, I wanted to talk about this. I'm gonna ask you guys because we got time.
Yeah, we got
okay. I don't want to go too long.
Yeah, we got plenty.
All right, so I was having this conversation with my nephew about centrist, right?
Mm.
And for me, so you have people out there that they consider they consider themselves above the fray because they are, they say I'm not left and I'm not right. I'm in the middle. I'm a centrist. Everybody claims to be a centrist, right? The left wingers, guys that believe in some pretty radical stuff, they will always say they're a centrist.
They're
right?
too far gone. Yeah.
Right. And most people on the right don't say that, but you have that too. I'm a centrist. And my whole thing is I don't understand why it's considered to be that a good thing. Because to me, if you consider yourself to be a centrist, it's because you have not taken the time to decide or really evaluate what you believe in, what your values are, and you haven't really taken the time to say, okay, what does that party represent? Not politician, right? There's a difference.
Party,
right. But what party best represents my view of government and my values, right? With the role of, so two things, your values and what the role of government should be, right?
Sure.
And so which one of those parties best represents you? Because I would say that really nobody is a centrist. We all fall under either left or right.
Or good or evil.
Well, I don't want to say good or evil.
Or libertarian.
Because it's not
that's
it's
right.
not it's not evil to believe in
Of course.
small in big government. I mean, it results in the evil things.
Of course.
But I wouldn't say that's evil. You know.
Sure.
I mean, you could be a Democrat and be pro-life. That you can be that.
Right.
Joe Manchin is.
Well, we
Manchin,
have to go back to
For
what
example.
them being a Democrat was. Back then, it was for the middle class.
Well,
The
I
beginning,
mean, somebody
right?
said.
JFK.
Yeah. There was
Well,
a-
I mean, that's what they say. But really, what is it? You know, being a liberal, the Democratic Party is supposed to. You know, they claim the middle class, but what does that really mean?
I don't think.
Democrats believe in big government. So it's government. The simple way to say it is government-based solutions, right? In other words, we have a healthcare problem. Well, then we need, universal healthcare. We need government-run healthcare, right? That's an example, right? Or, we need to combat hunger. Then we need to have government-run programs to combat hunger called food stamps. Conservatives would say, well, we want to combat hunger, but we don't want to use the government to solve it, right? We don't want to give government that kind of power. We don't believe the role of government is that.
Right.
So you still believe the same thing. Everybody wants to solve the same problems. It's just how do we solve it, right? So the reason I say that somebody who's in the middle is just basically lazy, for lack of a better term, or just doesn't really care to take the time to decide and evaluate what do they believe the role of government is and what their values are. That's why they're centrist, because they just sway with the wind.
Yeah.
Because really, how can you be a centrist? How do you vote for any Democrat and then the next election you vote for a Republican? It doesn't make sense.
Sounds like
because your values shouldn't change, generally speaking, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you should pretty much have principles locked down pretty good.
Especially now. That's it. Like, okay, maybe centrist in the beginning. You're a young 18-year-old.
If you're young, you haven't figured it out yet.
But it's like, dude, if you're like already like maybe 23 at least, you should already be like, all right, bro, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with high taxes, more government control, surveillance. But I do agree on this side with more taxes. Okay, with less taxes and all that. So this is me right here.
Right.
But like you said, 18, I think 18 is the right number where you're like, well, I don't know a lot about politics and what the government's role is yet, so I'll be a centrist. Yeah, I would agree.
So the pool of centrists should be pretty small, and it probably should be the younger people.
Right.
Right. But so this is why they say the largest voter base is the right? The undecided voters, the centrist.
Right.
And really all that means is that we have a large group of our population that are too lazy to kind of figure out what they believe in, which party best aligns with their value system and beliefs. And you should vote consistently that side unless your values change.
Right.
And I don't, so if you're somebody that's voting, say, Democrat one election, then you're voting Republican the next election, it doesn't really make sense to me. To me, it's like, especially as you get older, you should pretty much be locked in on one side or the other, because you've kind of settled into some things.
I like it. I like that, what you're saying, bro. I mean, the thing is this, bro. The reason why I say this and I identify with what you're saying is because, at once we voted Democrat, right? For example, this is before me knowing, me knowing what the Democrat Party was all about.
Right.
Think about it. Back in the 90s, the Democrat Party was considered a modern, a modern what do you
modernistic.
call it? Yeah, like they weren't left leaning at all, bro. I mean, they were the party of the people. You know what I mean? They were for people, for immigrants, and they really show it, bro. But once it started going off, and you're talking about in late 2000s, around there, it just started taking off the wrong way.
Bro.
Yeah, 23, 2003, 2005, 2006. Then you start the Obama 2003, Obama 2008, 2012. It was like completely left, bro. It was like, bro, like what is going on? And see,
well, don't forget the history too. I mean, about the Democrats.
Of course.
but it's crazy because you are right on that. It's like they went from like being the most racist party. And then they were kind of like trying to fix that in the 90s and all that. And then now.
Well, yeah, that's where you get this narrative. That's why I want to push back on that.
Yeah.
They've claimed to be the party of the people,
but they
never have been.
Right.
And so I want to be clear about something. Just when I say that, you fall under one party, you do. with that said, that doesn't mean, I understand it doesn't mean that the person that's running on that side truly represents your values too. Because you can have a conservative, like we have rhinos that we got to deal with on the conservative side, right?
Yeah.
That don't really represent, they claim to be conservative. They claim to be part of the Republic, represent the Republican Party, which means they should be representing Republican principles, which are conservative ideologies, but doesn't mean they actually do, right? So my thing is, I could understand, okay, in the primary, that's kind of where you hash it out, right?
Sure.
When you like in this case, we had Trump and we had other people running. It was a primary race. So you as a Republican, that's where you kind of try to get the guy that really does represent. That's the problem that we have, is we don't have enough people that are registered Republicans that, well, we do now, but in history, we haven't had enough Republicans that can discern a rhino from a real conservative.
Of course. Well, well, look, this is exactly what happened to us. Look, in the lights where we started waking up, right? We started seeing Liz Cheney, right? And Adam Kinzinger and whatever his name is, right? I mean,
The Chuck Schumers and those guys that are really Democrats, but they're Republicans.
They're exactly.
Right.
I mean, you start thinking, and that's why I say moderate. There's some Democrats that are moderate. They're not for all this nonsense, bro. One of them is Joe Manchin, right? He talks about 15 days. It's kind of like he thinks the same way as Trump, bro.
Pro 2A, and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's not about government control or they shouldn't have. And I mean,
I think he's jumping ship now because he's seeing how bad it's going.
Look at what happened to Christine Sinema. You know what I mean? Like, she just said, like, dude, like, this party has gone way too left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's out.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard, exactly.
Another lady that shocked everybody, where she jumped ship saying, like, oh, yeah, I'm not supporting none of these people. This ain't the Democrat Party and all that. Well, I mean, who was the one that said it too? Who was the one that said that phrase that I did not leave the Democrat Party, the Democrat Party left me.
That's right.
I forgot who it was, but that's basically now. It's
Exactly.
like, that's Democrats are.
Yeah, and today's Democrat Party, I just don't understand how many people actually align with those values. I mean, they're pro-crime.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
pro-gays, not pro.
Dude, like, come on now.
Pro-trans.
Well, I don't even want to just put it this way. Not even pro-gay. They are
evil,
changing boys into girls and girls into boys.
Yeah, mutilation.
They are pro allowing children to be mutilated.
But they call it
right?
but look at the name.
They are pro putting pornography in schools.
Bro, this is kids health, what is it? What is it? The kids health what is it called? They call it so well. It fits their name.
Kids spaces or something?
No, it's called kids. It's called healthcare. Kids some healthcare.
Well, just getting back to they're pro child mutilation. They're pro pornography in schools. They are pro taking money from American citizens and giving it to illegal migrants or illegal.
Call it, yeah.
Illegal immigrants.
Yeah, illegal migrants or, basically criminals that are coming in here. They're taking your money. They're pro that, right? What else? They're pro-war, right? So, I mean, who wants any of this? Who even agrees?
Taxes too.
Yeah, pro-high taxes.
They're just all bad, bro. Like everything you're just.
I don't understand at this point.
Want them.
If you sit there and if you're one of those people that tend to vote Democrat, how do you? I mean, do you? I guess I can respect it if you actually are for those things.
I always say that they're probably unemployed.
No, but I can respect it. I mean, it doesn't mean people like that don't exist. At least know what you're voting for. Like, I'm okay with you saying, I'm good with kids being shown pornography, if that's what you believe. I don't agree with it. I think you're a crazy psychopath pedophile probably, but at least you're being honest.
Yeah.
At least you're voting what you are believing.
At least you're not lying and just saying, yeah, I'm not for this, and then all of a sudden you're pushing. Obama did that. Remember, Obama was like, oh, I'm for the black community, and he funded more.
Well, at least you're still not buying in the fake narrative that they're like for the people, and that they're pro minorities, and they're
they're not
they're against racism and all this stuff. At least you're not buying into that nonsense because it's all a lie.
They're pro illegal immigrants now, but
No, 100%. I think we're right now we're reaching to that path where the centrics, you guys got to understand where you stand, okay? So now we want you to understand. We want you to pick a side, and in the same sense, we do want you, because there's only two sides. There's only two sides, and you need to pick it. You can't be
decide.
in the middle. You got to decide. Are you in for the pedophiles, the ones that mutilate kids, the ones that want to add maps, the ones that want to add all these, open up, that the soft
border.
soft on crime, attacking, the middle class,
High
and working,
taxes,
high
war.
taxes, war.
Yeah.
If you're okay with it, just say I'm okay with it, and I'm going with
I
it.
want all of it.
Yeah, I want it.
all of it. I want it all. I want to pay more taxes.
I don't want a border anymore. I want to pay more taxes.
We need to
You're
get
right,
that sound
yes.
effect. I want it all.
Yeah.
And I want like from Queens, and I want it now. That's
Yeah.
the
We'll
love,
get
bro.
it. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
We will get it.
You want more homeless living on the street, pissing on the floor, feces all over the place. You
And your
want
tax
all
bill.
of that. You want it. Okay. If you're good with it, I guess. You
Yeah.
know, go
But see,
ahead.
Open your house too for these homeless,
Exactly.
man.
What do you
Just
think?
really
Well,
know 'em.
you already have Gretchen Grimoire already asking people over there to say, "Hey, can
that's
can you
wild.
guys open up your homes? I know we haven't embedded these people. I know we don't know who we're bringing in, but can you open in your house? Hopefully, then you won't get killed. Everything's gonna be fine,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be okay." Now, think about it. Now, why are we seeing a large amount of crime being committed? Come on, let's call the spade
Alfred,
a spade.
it's
You know
sorry
what
to
I mean?
cut you off. Isn't there something going on now that these people can be squatters?
Squatters in New York. Come on now.
You want that.
Is that common
Right,
sense?
like say
Yeah.
that. Say, you know what? As a matter of fact, bro, if squatters are available, hey, anybody, shout out to anybody that's watching. If you got an extra room, let me go, bro. I'll go with that. And then the cops will have to take you out of your house and give it to me, bro. 'cause
Yeah,
I do need a
just the
house.
point being is that if you're someone out there and you're a centrist, you're lazy.
Just say you're
lazy. You haven't
Yeah.
taken the time to really think about
You're gonna
where
believe
you
what-
stand, what your values are. You put too much importance into other things that don't really matter, and I think that's the problem, because we really shouldn't have that many centrists. Like Eli say, I think yes, if you're young and you're still trying to figure it out, I could understand that.
Right.
That's totally understandable. You're young, you're maturing, you're trying to figure out what you believe in, what you don't believe in, right? But you do get to an age where you stand somewhere, and in my case, for me, if somebody says to me, generally speaking, in key issues, that you're stubborn or you're not open-minded, you're right. I'm not open-minded. I'm not open-minded about a lot of things that I've given some thought to that I'm not going to change my mind on. For example, I'm not going to change my mind on pedophilia. You're not going to change my mind. Okay.
Even if you change the name.
I'm not going to change my mind on open borders. I'm never going to veer from that. Like, so yes, I'm just giving examples of there's certain things that you should have locked down, major issues, and there just should probably a few things that, okay, you probably new things, like let's just say cybersecurity, like the whole Twitter thing, right? With them trying to shut it down. And, we haven't really talked about it.
No.
I guess we can get into that right now, because that's something that I know is out there.
Well, think about this, right? So let me lay out that whole conversation.
I mean, not Twitter. I'm thinking not Twitter. The
which one was it? Is it
social?
No, the other one. They're
Telegram? Rumble.
You guys are killing me right now.
Get her.
Forget it.
Get her.
No, the one the China one.
Oh, TikTok.
TikTok. I'm sorry, because I don't go on
No,
there.
you're good.
Yeah. So the whole thing, they're trying to ban TikTok.
Well, the thing is the funny thing about it is that a week before it, I think it was all a propaganda, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, just a week before it, Joe Biden opens up an account on TikTok. So I mean, it makes no sense to me that right the following week, you wanna create a bill to block it or whatever. And listen.
Well, Joe Biden. It wasn't Joe Biden's idea, was it?
Oh well, no.
Well, who introduced the bill? It wasn't Joe Biden.
I think it was. It was one. Somebody in Congress.
Yeah, it was a congressman. I think it was a conservative, right?
Yeah. He's calling out. I mean, think about it. This was something that was in Trump's time that they wanted to close it.
Yeah,
because
but now Trump's saying no.
Well, the thing is this. Now you think about it. Now, okay. Look, now that we know, look what happened with Twitter. Okay, perfect example. Okay. Twitter was being hoarded by left-leaning people that could assuade the younger generation, right? Everybody's on Twitter. Everybody knows. Everybody gets their news on Twitter. I mean, we're seeing it now. And now we're starting to see people that are left-leaning are now leaving into Discord or going into Mastodon or whatever, Megadon, whatever it's called now, because they want to be, they want to be controlled, I guess. And so now Trump, the conversation is this, okay, well, now that finally we liberated Twitter, now X, now you want to control TikTok. What's gonna happen if you take advantage of controlling TikTok? Now, True Social could also be controlled. Now Telegram, now Rumble. Can you see where this is leading?
Yeah, it's like they're trying to control.
So you're trying to make the slippery slope argument, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is that this is unique though, because when you say controlled, and I haven't read the bill, but I don't believe the bill is actually. Isn't it basically the same thing Donald Trump proposed, which was to force the sale of TikTok to an American?
I think that's what it was. But think about it.
So what's the problem?
Well, the problem is this, okay?
Well, give them the example. Let them, like, if I would say, right, I think the crazy one about this was, if you remember during COVID and the election, Instagram and Facebook were censoring a lot of people, bro.
Of course.
Like a lot.
No, I understand, but what you guys are bringing up is different, though, because TikTok is a different situation where it is owned by a Chinese government, Chinese company,
Sure.
right? And we know that in order for you that the Communist Party, every company in China has to have a Communist Party member on their board, right?
So
we know that the Communist Party basically runs or has influence over this. So that's the issue. We know that every Chinese-owned company is required to have a communist member on their board. Right,
100%.
So we can't have that. So TikTok is different because we're not talking about Twitter, Instagram. You guys are talking about censoring, which is different than we're talking about. Banning. I think they're saying banning, but I think isn't it really?
Well, that's what it is. Look at what it says. It says the House passes a TikTok ban bill, but is now here's the question. This is coming from the NPR. Okay, the NPR says the House passes a TikTok ban bill. But is the app really a national security threat? See, here you are.
Okay, but I know they're calling it a ban bill, but that doesn't mean that that's actually what the bill does.
Well, it says the House of Representatives passed legislation on Wednesday giving TikTok two choices. One,
find a buyer,
right? Which is your right.
Right.
Immensely popular video app, or raise national ban in the U.S.
or face a national ban. Yeah.
Yeah. Or those are the only two.
Yeah.
So
what's the problem?
Well, the problem is this. Okay.
I mean, it's not a ban.
Well, no, it's not. But
I guess the argument can be made either way, right? Because you're being told either sell or you're going to be banned.
You get kicked
exactly.
out.
Right.
But the thing is this. So perfect example right now. Okay, let me put it this way. So I have an opportunity, right? I got my, people that are investing in my company, right? And they're known, probably the Communist Party, whatever it is. You got people invested in my company, right? And you're making business in the U.S., right? Now, there's some known vulnerabilities, right? They know that they're tied in and they have certain things, right? That they're tracking. Well, not only that, but the data. Right? Data is being collected for whatever reason, right?
Either it's data or their propaganda campaign. They can switch it on anytime. You might not see, I don't go on there, but I mean, you might not see any obvious or any propaganda there, but it doesn't mean that they can't decide to turn it on. I mean, we could go to war with them like tomorrow, right?
Well, I mean, 100%.
They can just decide, you know what, let's start a propaganda campaign like in 2 days.
Which they're already doing. They're already doing. They're already feminizing kids. They're already pushing all this and the algorithm and stuff like that. We're here I'm hearing from people. I'm hearing all the time, man, bro. Eli's been there more than I have, but I'm sure he's probably gotten, cap a couple times where he's get certain videos that have nothing to do with what he's talking about. And it's a constant thing, like something to do with food or whatever. I mean, it could be like it knows you, like the algorithm knows you. If you're working out, you get videos of working out. If you're trans, you get videos of trans. If you're getting or Instagram, whatever it is. I mean, I'm thinking about this is the way it's maneuvered, right? Algorithms, right? Now, what I'm saying is the ban here, or the reason why they needed to do that, is it doesn't make any difference. All they did is they created a loophole, right? I mean, think about it. You sell it to somebody that you employ somebody here in the U.S., right, to handle your business now here in the U.S., and then you still continue with the data collection. That's what they do.
I mean, well, if you, this is my take on that. It's like if you sell it to an American buyer and the buyer is for censorship like Instagram or Facebook, then you just have another platform who's going to do the same thing. But they're already censoring people on TikTok too. So it's like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I mean, what do you rather have? A liberal Democrat that owns TikTok or the Chinese Communist Party?
I mean, well, look at what,
I mean, those are. I mean, what are you worried about? I mean, what do you? I mean, I know they're both. It's the lesser of two evils for sure. But at least, I mean, I guess I'm kind of listening to you guys like.
Who? What? My answer, I don't know who, bro. Because they're both bad.
To me, I think they. Well, I don't. The only weird thing about this is, so for me, I think I'm all for making them sell or ban it. Right? We cannot have the Chinese. Really, any country, in my opinion.
100%.
You know what I mean? Having that kind of. I'm not down with it. With that said, though. I see what you guys are saying, and I wonder if that's why Trump is against it now, and he was for it when he was in office, because maybe it's a case of he wants to have control over who ends up with it, right?
It could be, or it could be like mentioned. Like, look, a lot of these social platforms, they do have the possibility of being manipulated to push a certain narrative. For example. Do you guys remember back in 2020, Facebook was used heavily to promote stuff, towards, algorithm. I mean, some of the algorithms that they're using were getting like for example, we already knew that there was a visibility issue with the Republican Party. And so what did Facebook do? They started pumping more commercials for propaganda for the blue. So everything I saw in there was Joe Biden, wonderful videos and all this stuff. It's kind of like, reminding me of
anti-Trump,
anti-Trump and the democracy, and it's fine, and the same thing with Twitter, right? These social media platforms are known to be manipulated, to be used to propaganda or to provide propaganda towards a specific group, for example.
Yeah, to influence votes and that sort of thing.
Think about it. Most of the young people are in TikTok, right?
Sounds like the Southern strategy.
Yeah, but the thing is, Alfred, is that I think that there's two problems. So there's two different problems that we're talking about. You're talking about censorship and manipulation as far as, I mean, we kind of both are. But my issue is that, Chinese Communist Party owns it, influences it. It's a foreign country that I would consider to be our enemy right now. So I think it's okay to sell it. If it ends up with some white liberal, that's fine, because.
But it doesn't. And see, the problem is this: as soon as you go into this, you right away. You click on it here. There's one. It says new DOJ filing. TikTok owner is a mouthpiece of the Chinese Communist Party.
Oh, this is a new one?
Yeah, this is the guy.
Well, no, I mean, I think that if you have to vet, at the very least, if we're gonna sell it to an American.
Oh, no, sorry, this one's an old.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna sell it to an American company, then I would think we just want to vet that company to make sure there's no crazy ties and there's some sort of backroom entryway for the Communist Party to still infiltrate or anything like that. But maybe that should be the case with anybody that owns social media,
Or we can bust out with another billionaire to buy it, like Elon Musk.
Yeah, but the thing is, guys,
or if he buys it, that'd be crazy.
If you believe in freedom, you don't want to compromise on that. So, I'm not also gonna support the government handpicking, like, hey, we're gonna sell it to this guy. Maybe we should have a vetting process. But at the end of the day, it should be a fair process. And if it ends up with the leftists, it ends up with the leftists. I mean, what are you guys advocating for? The Democrats and liberals can't own things?
Oh, no. I think they could. I
mean, that's what you're sounding like right now. Right?
Well, no, I mean, think about it. Twitter. I mean, what's his name? Jack Dorsey. I mean, leftist. I mean, on Twitter.
Censoring people left and right.
Right. We can't be hypocrites. We can't start saying like, hey guys, he's a Democrat. We're not going to allow him to buy a company.
That's true.
Oh no, that's true. No, 100%. I think you're.
I'm just saying on this end, I'm both ways. I don't.
No,
care. I mean, if TikTok, China gets it, whatever.
Well, I mean, I think it's a pretty big issue, and I think that it's pretty serious, and I think I would support this moving, and I mean, being passed to unless there's
to
something
ban it or
crazier
not
I don't
ban
know
it?
about to force either to be banned or
okay.
sold, right?
Yeah, I'm there.
And I think Trump wants to control over it, but then I'm not for a president be having that kind of control.
100%.
So I mean,
Yeah.
as long as hopefully, I mean, we'll get into this and we don't have to keep dwelling on it, but I think the important thing is for it to be sold and there be a process in which it's fair for anybody, American company, to buy it, and a way for us to vet that company to make sure not what their political views are, generally speaking, but do they have any kind of ties with any enemies or anything like that we need to be concerned about. That's all.
100%. No, I agree. I think for the most part, I mean, what we want to do is we want to make sure that there's, like you mentioned, there's a committee that can properly, that could be bipartisan, right? I mean,
hopefully.
I mean, knock on wood. I mean, if there's anybody with that, I mean, that word gets used a lot, bipartisan, right? Like no party line, right? It's everybody's. But deep inside, you'll start seeing that that's not true. I mean, we're hoping that. Listen, I don't want to see this. I mean, I don't want to see no. Regardless, I mean, yeah, I completely understand, Isaac, your point. I mean, in regards to the safety, 100%. I think we need to have, committee or somebody that's in there. I mean, if it's run here, that's what we have the FCC, right?
Yep.
I mean, we have the FCC to protect us from this stuff.
Supposedly, yeah.
Supposedly, right? I mean, and then later on, we're seeing all kinds of, we have balloons on the air. I mean, and it's part of the FCC, right? Regulations. Yeah. I mean, it's a slippery slope with this one too. But again, I agree with you. We shouldn't be able to block people and.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, bro.
All right, man. Hey,
all right, guys.
Hey, listen, man. I mean, golly, man, that went pretty good. We had a good time today. We talked about four important things. We talked about the Transgender Day of Visibility, the Nato, CNN, and stuff with Trump.
The Pretenders Day of Visibility.
Pretenders, yep. And we also, brought in Fredo. I mean, Chris Cuomo, talk about that with JayZ and Obama. Remember, we talk about the centrics, people that are in the center. Come on, choose a side. You know what I mean? Look at it. Which one identifies you? I mean, are you with pedophiles or whatever? I mean, again,
or just simple as, do you believe in government, high taxes, high regulations,
sure,
all that stuff? If you believe in that, that's fine.
I mean,
whatever is important to you, but you really
you can't be a centrist.
Everybody falls on the side, generally speaking. But anyhow, but yeah, guys. So man, unrestrained. Yeah, we're talking about some crazy stuff, and hopefully you found some value in this. We appreciate you guys sticking it out if you're still listening to us.
Right.
And I'll be out next week. The youngsters will be here holding it down, and with Alfred. And just remember, guys, we'd appreciate your support if you guys can like, subscribe, share this on YouTube. We're also on Spotify. I think we were on Rumble. You only posted one on Rumble, but
we're one. We're gonna get in there, man. Rumble. Yep, we're gonna go on Rumble, YouTube, because right now the good ones are YouTube, Spotify, and Rumble. Those three. I think we're hitting.
Shout out to everybody that's watching, tuning in.
Of course, keep up with the shorts, man. Like them, share them, because that's the way we bypass the algorithms. It gets us out to wider audience. We don't get paid for this. We do this out of love. The guys here, man, they come here, hold the fort, and because we want to continue to educate people, speak our mind. And listen, if you're left-leaning and you say, hey, man, I really like what you guys are saying, I want to go and speak my piece, come on in. We welcome you. We have a spot here. We can sit down and have a discussion. I think it's good that we have open dialogue here. That's why the First Amendment allows us to have these conversations. And so if you think, if you're progressive or left-leaning and you want to have a time and have a discussion with people that are right, or even that are conservative, or even that family people, come on in, and we're gonna have a respectful time, and we'll let you talk.
All right, man.
All right, y'all.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you here next week. God bless. Take care. All right, this one.